What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Zach Moolah Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and tonight I'm here to recap the Tennessee Titans 2025 NFL draft picks. So without further ado, y'all, let's get straight into it. And as y'all can see, man, I made this nice graphic of Cam Ward in his Titans uniform, and it says a new era begins, y'all. So let's do this. And let's start with the man of the hour himself, Cam Ward. The Tennessee Titans selected him with the first pick, and we knew this was going to happen. Now, as I have stated multiple times, y'all, I would have selected Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter because I feel like they're better players. But Cam Ward is a really good player. You're talking about a guy that's going to come into the NFL and immediately have one of the strongest arms in the league. He's very athletic. He moves well outside of the pocket. And he is just a creative playmaker, man. He really reminds me of Jordan Love. That's my comparison for him. Some people have compared him to Steve McNair, but I feel like he has a different play style than Steve McNair because Cam Ward is a gunslinger. Like, he is a guy that is not afraid to take chances. Now, sometimes, y'all, that will get him in trouble because there are times where he can trust his arm a little bit too much, and then he'll make a bad decision, and the ball will get intercepted. But most of the time, he makes good decisions with the football. And we've had a lot of problems, y'all, with quarterbacks throughout the years, whether it was Vince Young or Kerry Collins or Ron Fitzpatrick or Marcus Mariota or even Jake Locker, which I still cannot believe we selected him over J.J. Watt. But I think Cam Ward is going to come in, be a really good player for us. And the good thing, y'all, that I like about Cam Ward is that he's humble. Just a couple of years ago, he was playing at the FCS level. So he's not always been, one of the biggest talked about guys in college football. I mean, at one point, no one even really knew who he was. So he's a very humble young man. And I like that about him. He's a great leader. He immediately changed that culture down in Miami with the Hurricanes. So I love that about him, y'all. And yeah, I think he's going to come in, be a really good player for us, and kind of establishing a culture and identity for this team because we need it, y'all. I mean, we the last couple of years, man, we've lost that toughness. We lost that edge that we had, when Mike Vrabel was our head coach. So we're hoping that a player like Cam Ward, he could come in and help us establish our identity and culture. So my grade for this pick, y'all, I gave it a grade of an A. Now, I know some people are giving it an A+, but the reason I cannot give it an A+, again, y'all, is because Travis Hunter is the best player in the 2025 NFL draft class, and I don't think anyone can really disagree with that. So that's the only reason I cannot give it an A+, but I did give Cam Ward an A again. He is a great player. I still think that Shedeur was the best quarterback in this draft class. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean, I know Shedeur didn't get selected into the 5th round, but I had a higher grade on Shedeur than I did Cam Ward. But Cam Ward is going to be a really good quarterback for us. He has a chance, y'all, to become a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Now, obviously, there are a lot of great quarterbacks in the league. There's some overrated guys, but Cam Ward has a chance. I'm not saying he will, but he has a chance to become a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. So let's hope that he does, that he will be able to do that. All right, y'all, with our second round pick, and I was not the biggest fan of this pick. With our second round pick, we selected Femi Oladejo, edge rusher out of UCLA. And if y'all were on my stream last night, man, I really criticized this pick. Now, let me give you the pros that I have with Femi. He's a good leader. This guy was a captain for UCLA's football team, particularly their defense, right? He's very athletic. He can bend the corner, and he's versatile. Like, he was playing linebacker, then he actually converted to edge rusher last season. So he has some versatility about him. But, y'all, he is very raw as a pass rusher. And that really concerns me because this team is in desperate need of a really good pass rusher. We need somebody that can consistently apply pressure to the quarterback. And right now, he's just not the guy that's going to do that. Now, what we're hoping, y'all, is that his athletic traits will be able to catch up to his we're hoping that his pass rush ability will be able to catch up to his athletic traits because he is very athletic, right? I think he ran like a 4.6 at the combine. So he's very athletic. He's very fast. But, y'all, he's just not a good pass rusher right now. And I think when you take a guy in the second round that is not a good pass rusher, you better hope that you can develop him, y'all, because this was a high draft pick. I thought he was going to go like in the 3rd round. If we selected him in the 3rd round, I would have been much better about this pick. But when you select a guy like this in the 2nd round that's not really that good of a pass rusher, but has great athletic traits, you're taking a risk, y'all. So this is a high risk, high reward. The high reward could be he becomes a really good pass rusher, right? And he's one of the most athletic, dynamic pass rushers in the NFL. But the risk could become that his pass rush ability never catches up to his athletic ability. And if that happens, y'all, he's going to be a bust. And Mike Green was still on the board. Okay, and the Baltimore Ravens, they were lucky enough that Mike Green fell to their lap. So that's the guy he's going to be compared to, right? Femi, he went 52 overall. He went 52nd overall, excuse me. Mike Green, he went 59th overall. So he's going to be compared to Mike Green. And let's just hope, y'all, 3-5 years down the road, we're not looking back and saying, yeah, we really messed up with that pick. We should have selected Mike Green. Because I'm telling y'all this, Mike Green is going to be a consistent pass rusher in the NFL. He is. And right now with Femi, I cannot say that about him. Again, I love the athletic traits, y'all. I really do. But to become a really good pass rusher in the NFL, it takes more than just athletic abilities. Okay, there are some guys playing right now, y'all, that are not, excuse me, the most athletic guys. But they still can get after the quarterback consistently because they have good pass rush moves. Right now, he really doesn't have any pass rush moves. He just simply is relying on his athleticism to help him. But in the NFL, y'all, he's going against guys that are really athletic. They're going to be stronger and faster than him. So that's why you got to have some pass rush moves in your arsenal. You know, you can get away with that in college, but now he's on a professional level. So he's going to have to really develop himself as a pass rusher. And y'all, we have to pray to God, seriously, that Tracy Walker, our D-line coach, he can develop this kid. Tracy Walker is one of the best defensive line coaches in the NFL, okay? But Femi is really raw, so it's going to take a while, y'all. I mean, don't expect him to get a lot of production his rookie season, because he's not, which is really going to suck because, again, we have a big need at the edge rusher spot. I mean, we really do. And I think some Titans fans don't understand that, like, yeah, we have T'Vondre Sweat and Big Jeff at the defensive tackle spot, which is great. And yes, we have L'Jarius Sneed, Roger McCreary, Amani Hooker in our secondary, y'all. But when you look at our edge rusher spot, it is a big weakness. Right now, Arden Key is our best edge rusher. And that really concerns me because Arden Key, he's only decent. He's a decent player. Like, he can get you 5 to 6 sacks, a season. But, y'all, we need somebody that's like a dominant pass rusher that can consistently get after the quarterback. And we still don't have that right now. We could have had that if we selected Mike Green, but we didn't. So, y'all, let's see how this pans out. Am I a little worried? Absolutely. Because whenever you're taking a guy that has incredible athletic traits but is still raw as a player, it might not work out for you. There's been plenty of times, y'all, where a team, they took a guy because he was incredibly athletic, but he wasn't that good of a player, and he didn't work out for them, and he became a bust. But I'm going to give Femi a chance. I'm not saying he's going to be a bust, but I'm just warning Titans fans. I know I've seen some Titans fans out there on social media saying, yay, our pass rush situation is fixed. Y'all, it's not. As of right now, it's not. Because we have to see what Femi is going to do. But I hope he can become a very productive pass rusher for us. Because is he tough? Yes. Is he athletic? Yes. Is he a leader? Yes. But y'all, we need production, or we need sacks, okay? That's what this team desperately needs. We need dudes that can get after that quarterback consistently. He cannot do that at this point, but I'm going to give him a chance to become a very good player for us, hopefully down the road, y'all. If not, though, man, this is going to be a big miss by Mike Borgonzi and the rest of our management. But, y'all, my grade for this pick is not going to be as bad as some of y'all may think it is. My grade for this pick is a B-. Now, some people might say, well, Zay, you just kind of talk negatively about him. I'm surprised it's not lower. But again, y'all, like I said, I do like his athletic ability. He can bend the corner. He's a versatile player, and he's a leader. And that does matter. Like, I think if you can bring in guys that have high football IQ, high character about them, that definitely matters. He does have a high football IQ. He does have a high character. So I like that about him. But, man, we are really going to have to develop this kid. And let's hope we can do it, y'all. I mean, our coaching staff, is pretty decent. But let's just hope we can do it. I don't know, but we'll see. I see some of these comments. Hold up. Sorry. Let's go. Hey, what's up? Yeah, let's go. Hello, Zay. What's up? Sorry, y'all. I'm late reading these comments. You did a great job with pronouncing Oladejo's name. Oladejo's name. Yes. I still struggle with it. Tighten up. Maybe the coaches will help him to get there. I hope so. Like we really need them to, but that's part of being a great coach. You got to develop guys that aren't there yet, right? Not all the guys you draft are going to be finished products. Sometimes you have to really help these guys become better players, and let's hope we have the coaches to do it. All right, y'all, moving on with our 3rd round pick. We took Kevin Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State. And this is one of my favorite picks of this entire draft for us because, y'all, if Kevin Winston Jr. did not tear his ACL last season, he would have been a first-round pick, because in 2023, he was one of the best safeties in college football, man. This dude is a hard hitter. He's very aggressive. He makes big hits on running backs in particular. I would love if we played the Ravens this year, y'all, because he would probably get Derrick Henry. Because yeah, he's just that type of player, man. Hard hitter, very physical, very aggressive. Now, he's not the best in coverage right now. That's where we're going to have to develop him. We're going to develop his coverage skills. But when you look at the type of player that he is, y'all, I mean, I think he's going to fit so well within Denard Wilson's defense, because what does Denard Wilson love, y'all? He loves players that are just tough, that are physical, that are hard-nosed, and that is Kevin Winston Jr. This guy, he was also the leader. I told y'all, Femi, he was the leader. Well, Kevin Winston Jr., he was the leader for the Penn State Nittany Lions, man. He was probably the best player on that defense, not named Abdul Carter. And again, y'all, if he did tear his ACL, he would have been off the board. So this was a great pick by Mike Borgonzi. Now, I know last night I said I wanted us to draft a wide receiver in the third round, but no, Kevin Winston Jr., great pick, great value pick. And yeah, I cannot wait to see what he does this fall. Now, I'm going to tell y'all this. I think that if he's fully healthy, he will be our starting safety come week 1, because I just don't trust Xavier Woods. I know we signed Xavier Woods to a 2-year, $10 million deal, y'all. But I mean, let's be honest though. Xavier Woods, he's a decent player, but he's not a good player. I mean, let's be honest. He just isn't. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Xavier Woods gets cut. Like, honestly, if Kevin Winston Jr. comes in training camp and just absolutely tears it up and he becomes a starter, like Xavier Woods, he might get upset and say, you know what, I just want out. So we might end up cutting Xavier Woods. But I'm not saying it would happen, but it definitely could happen, because Kevin Winston Jr., man, this kid has a lot of talent, and I cannot wait to see, y'all, what he's going to do come this fall. So my grade for this pick, and some of y'all might say this is too high, but I gave this a grade of an A-, y'all. I mean, again, not only is he a really great football player, but again, y'all, has a high football IQ and a leader. And y'all can see that's kind of a trend that we had with our draft selections, man. We got guys that not only are pretty solid football players, y'all, but are tough, that are instinctive, that have a high football IQ, and they just play the right way, and that matters. You know, sometimes it's not just about a guy's athletic ability or about his talent. You got to bring guys in that can really help you establish your culture, help you establish your identity. And a guy like Kevin Winston Jr., man, he is going to come in and definitely help us do that, y'all. And I think he's going to have a great impact on this team, not just the defense, but the team in general, because he's one of those guys that say, you know, if the offense they're not playing well, they're not having a great day out there, he's one of those guys that's going to uplift his teammates, man. I saw him do that time and time again for Penn State. We know Penn State had one of the best defenses in college football, but they had a pretty average offense. But you would see him on the sidelines, you know, uplifting those guys, making sure that their spirits are in the right place. So I just love to see that, y'all. I love to see particularly defensive players that don't just care about their side of the ball, but also care about the offensive side of the ball. Kevin Winston Jr. is one of those players. So yeah, I could go on and on about him, man, because he is a great football player. So really love this pick. With our first 4th round pick, y'all, we selected Chirme, DK, wide receiver out of Florida, aka Chim. That's what we call him, Chim for short. But y'all, this was my least favorite pick. I'm going to be honest. This was my least favorite pick because this was a reach. Now, his athletic ability, like I said with Femi, Chim, he has a lot of athletic ability. He ran a 4.39 at the combine. He's 6'2". So he has the makeup, right? Tall, fast, athletic. But y'all, he's not that good of a wide receiver right now. He isn't. Because really the only thing he can do is just run go routes. That's it. He's a deep threat at this point. And when you look at the makeup of this Titans wide receiver room, like, yeah, that's fine, but it would have been nice to get a guy like Jalen Warriors, who's a more well-rounded wide receiver. A guy like Nick Nash, who I think is a more well-rounded wide receiver. A guy like Isaiah Bond, who went undrafted. I think all of those guys would have been a better pick than Chim right here, Chim DK. But, y'all, I will say this. He has a chance to come in and add an element to this offense that we have not had in a very long time because of his speed. I mean, when's the last time the Tennessee Titans really had a legitimate deep threat on our team? The last time we probably had that was Khalif Raymond, and that was back in 2020. So that's been a while. So I would give him that. he could come in day one to make a very big impact for us because of his speed. And we all know that speed kills. But at the end of the day, y'all, there were just better wide receivers on the board. Maybe they weren't as fast as him, they weren't as athletic as him, but they were just better, more well-rounded, better route runners. And let me tell y'all this about Chim DK. He had a lot of drops last year, a lot of drops. And that is very concerning. Because normally, y'all, when a wide receiver has a lot of drops on the collegiate level, guess what, y'all? He's going to carry that over into the professional level. So I'm going to just warn y'all of that right now. Chim DK had a lot of drops last year. Just turn on that tape. And it wasn't like contested catch drops. No, a lot of them, he was wide open and he just dropped the ball. So he's not a natural hands catcher. And that really concerns me. But again, as I stated with Femi, y'all, it seems like the Titans are willing to bet on the upside of these very athletic players, and they feel like they can develop the rest of their game. So obviously the coaching staff feels like, hey, Chim DK, he's very fast, he's very athletic. We can develop him as a route runner, and he can become a pretty solid player for us. But as of right now, y'all, I just don't see that. And again, when you look at the other options that were available, this really concerns me, y'all, because I'm going to tell y'all what it feels like to me. This feels like 2021 all over again. Y'all remember when we took the infamous Dez Fitzpatrick over Amon-Ra St. Brown? And what did we say about Dez Fitzpatrick? We were like, well, he's very athletic. He's fast. He can run. But he doesn't have the best hands. He's not the best route runner. He's very inconsistent. And what happened, y'all? Dez Fitzpatrick didn't even make the team. He got cut. Think about that. He was a 4th-round draft pick for us and didn't even make the team. Meanwhile, Amon-Ra St. Brown is one of the best receivers in the NFL. So, yeah, we could have had one of the best receivers in the NFL on our team, but instead we took a guy that had these impressive athletic traits, but the rest of his game was very raw, and we weren't able, to develop him. So, and I know that was a different coaching staff, obviously, but I'm just saying, y'all, this really concerns me, though. And I get that the Titans, they're very enamored with these guys that have this incredible athletic ability. I get it. Because trust me, I love guys that are fast. I love guys that are incredibly athletic. But at the same time, y'all, I want good football players, though. Okay, that's what I want. And Chim DK right now, I think he's a below average football player. I really do. Because the rest of his game is just so raw right now. So we'll see what happens, y'all. Again, could he make an impact as a rookie? Absolutely, because he has phenomenal speed. I mean, he was one of the fastest players in this draft class. But there's also a chance, y'all, that he flames out and he becomes like Dez Fitzpatrick. And there's another wide receiver that we're going to talk about here in a few moments that I actually think was better, but we took him a little bit later. But anyways, y'all, let me give y'all my grade for Chim DK. I gave him a grade of a C, y'all. The reason I did that is because, again, he's just not the best route runner right now. He doesn't have good hands, and he just really kind of lives off his speed. I mean, if he wasn't a really fast wide receiver, what would he be? Right? So I give this a grade of a C. The only reason this isn't lower, y'all, is like I just mentioned, because of his speed. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. That's the only reason I gave him a C, because I really wanted to give this pick a D. But I started thinking, well, Zay, you can't do that because he did run a 4.39. Okay, and there's not too many dudes in this draft class that ran a 4.39. So he's very fast. But I'm just telling y'all, Titans fans, don't be surprised if this guy doesn't even make the roster. And y'all going to be like, wow, a 4th-round pick didn't even make the roster. But I'm telling you, it really could happen. It happened with Dez Fitzpatrick. It definitely can happen with Chim DK. I hope it doesn't happen, y'all. Trust me, I don't want that to happen. I would love for him to become a very good player for us. But I'm just saying, we have to also be realistic. Because I think sometimes as fans, when we draft a player, we think this guy's going to become a future Hall of Famer. It doesn't work out like that. Okay, it doesn't. So we have to be realistic. As I stated last night, I'm going to root for everybody on our team. I want everyone to do well. But at the same time, I have to be realistic. And I'm not going to sit up here and tell y'all that Chim DK is some phenomenal wide receiver when he isn't. Okay, and I don't want y'all to think that he's that good. At least he's not that good right now. So again, y'all, let's see. Hopefully, Tyke Tolbert, our wide receivers coach, will be able to develop him. Chim DK said he actually has already spoken to Tyke Tolbert, so that's good news to hear. But yeah, y'all, let's just see if we're able to develop him so he can become at least a decent wide receiver for us. But I would love if he became a great wide receiver for us. With our next 4th round pick, y'all, we selected Gunnar Helm, tight end out of Texas. Now, this surprised me a little bit, not because Gunnar Helm isn't a good football player. He definitely is. But, y'all, and I think I said this earlier on my live stream, we already have 2 young tight ends, really 3 if you want to count David Martin Robinson. But I know he's probably not going to make this roster, but I go ahead and throw him in there. So we have 3 young tight ends, y'all, Chig Okonkwo, Josh Wiley, and David Martin Robertson. And now we just added another young tight end in Gunnar Helm. I want to know, how many of those dudes are we really keeping on this roster? Now, obviously, Gunnar, he's going to be on the team because we just drafted him. Is Josh Wiley going to be off the team now? When just 2 years ago, we selected him in the 5th round. Now, I know there was with a different management. You know, Rand Carton was still the GM at that point in time. But, I mean, Josh Wiley is still a decent player, y'all. You know, I think there are times where he doesn't get open quick enough like he should, because a guy his size and the way he runs, he should be able to consistently get open and produce more than he does. But I still like Josh Wiley. I still would like to develop him a little bit more. But now it's like you add another young tight end to that room. Like, what are we doing, y'all? Because someone has to go. At least one of those guys have to go. All 4 of those guys will not be on the team. And I would say it's probably going to be, I'm feeling Chig Okonkwo. Now, Chig is very athletic. Like, he's definitely the fastest and most athletic tight end we have right now. But given that this is the last year of his contract and the fact that, again, we just selected Gunnar Helm and we, a couple of years ago, selected Josh Wiley and we have David Martin Robinson on the team, it feels like Chig Okonkwo would be the odd man out. I don't even know what we could really get for Chig. Probably maybe like a 5th or 6th round pick, which would be nice. But yeah, y'all, again, I like the player. I mean, Gunnar Helm, let me just tell y'all a little bit about him, man. So he's a good blocker. He runs solid routes. He has really good hands. And he had great production last year for Texas. He had nearly 800 yards and 7 touchdowns. So I really like him as a player. I really do. I just don't know how he's going to fit on our team right now. Now, maybe, you know, next month or in a couple of months when we trade Chig Okonkwo, then I would be like, you know what? This makes some more sense why we selected Gunnar Helm. But right now, I'm like, did we really need to add another young tight end? Like, I would have rather us just like maybe trade it for a veteran tight end, you know? But this is what we did. Again, I like the player, y'all, but his fit right now on our team is kind of iffy because we do have a log jam in that position. But Gunnar Helm, if he does get some significant playing, if he receives some significant playing time, like, yeah, he's going to play well for us. He's going to produce. And, y'all, his blocking is really good, which is going to be a great bonus for us because that's kind of the downside of having Chig Okonkwo and Josh Wiley. They're not the best blockers, but Gunnar Helm, he's a good blocker. He's tough as nails. This dude really competes to the final whistle, and I respect that about him, man. And his coach, Steve Sarkisian, y'all, spoke very, very well of him last season, man. I remember before the game against Michigan, he came out and said, you know, some really great things about Gunnar Helm. Just talk about how he's the ultimate pro, a guy that really just brings his teammates together, and a guy that's willing to do whatever it takes to help his team win games. So yeah, really getting a great player and a great person, in Gunnar Helm. So my grade for him, y'all, this might seem a little low, but my grade for him is a B+. Again, I really like the player, I do. But his fit on our team right now is just very iffy. We're going to have to trade one of these tight ends. Until we do that, y'all, it's going to be a B+. When we trade one of these guys, I'm probably going to bubble it up to like an A. But as of right now, I have to keep it at a B+, even though I like the player. But if Gunnar Helm gets a chance, y'all, to play for us this season, I think he's going to produce at a high level. So I like that. And with our 4th and final 4th round pick, y'all, 4th and final 4th round pick. Wow, try saying that fast 3 times. We selected Ayo Manor, wide receiver out of Stanford, y'all. And, man, this was probably my favorite pick of the draft. I'm not even going to lie. Now, I really love the Cam Ward pick, or I should say I really like the Cam Ward pick. I really loved the Kevin Winston Jr. pick, y'all. But man, you talking about Alec, as I call him, Big E. I'm really shocked that he was still available at pick 136 because I think he had second round talent. This is a guy, y'all, that a couple of years ago, he went up against Colorado and Travis Hunter. He had 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let me repeat, y'all. When he went up against Colorado and Travis Hunter, he had 294 yards and 3 touchdowns. This dude is a big play threat waiting to happen, man. He is a contested catch demon. He has very strong hands, y'all. He is a good route runner, and he is a really good run blocker, which is funny because can y'all imagine if we had Mike Vrabel as our head coach still? I mean, he would have loved Big E. He would have loved Ellis because he's a great run blocker. But, yeah, this was a phenomenal pick, y'all. I think he is a better wide receiver than Chim DK, which is funny because we selected Chim DK at 103, and we just select Big E until 136. But I'm telling y'all, Alec Iomanner, this guy is probably going to come in and be our starting wide receiver opposite Calvin Ridley. I really believe that, man, because when you look at our wide receiver core right now, we have a lot of slot options, right? We got Tyler Lockett, who we signed a couple of days ago. We got Bryce Oliver. We have Jaquan Jackson. But we don't have a lot of wide receivers that can play on the outside. But when you look at a guy like Alec Iomanner, who's 6'2", about 205 pounds, like he's that prototypical ex-wide receiver, man. So, y'all, I'm telling you, man, we just got, I think, a future Pro Bowl wide receiver. I really believe that. I think he's going to become a future Pro Bowl wide receiver. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite wide receiver because he doesn't have, great speed or great athletic abilities. But he is just one of those players, y'all, that you do not want to bet against because a lot of people actually didn't even know who he was until that Colorado game. But if you were keeping up with Stanford like I was, you knew that he was consistently putting in that work. And then when he finally, y'all, got to play in like a big primetime game, man, he showed the type of talent that he is. So this was a great pick. I heard his press conference, man. He is fired up to be a Tennessee Titan. And I'm telling you, I'm fired up to have him on our football team because this is the type of wide receiver that we've been needing, y'all. I'm so sick and tired of this team. And I know we did it with Chim DK, but I'm so sick and tired of this team going out and either signing or drafting these wide receivers that are unproven. Like last year, we drafted Jaquan Jackson. We all knew Jaquan Jackson wasn't going to come in and do anything for us, and he didn't. And Jaquan Jackson's probably going to get cut this year. So isn't that great? But, y'all, we finally got a guy that can come in, produce day one, which is what we desperately need. And, yeah, Titans fans, y'all better get fired up, man, because Big E, he's going to come in here. He's going to be a really great wide receiver for us. And I think when Calvin Ridley's contract expires, if Big E is going to come over, he's going to come over, I should say, and be our number one wide receiver. So, yeah, I love this pick, man. Job well done, Mike Berganzi. I did not think we were going to do this, y'all. I really didn't think we were going to double down at wide receiver, but we did it. Great job by Mike Berganzi and the Titans management, y'all. So my grade for Big E, Big Alec Iomanner, I gave him a grade of A, y'all. I mean, I couldn't go A+ because I think A+ would have been a little too rich for my blood, but I did give him a grade of A because, yeah, I mean, I think he was a top 70 player in this draft class. He easily could have been a second or third round pick, and we got him at pick 136. So job well done again by Mike Berganzi and the Titans management. All right, y'all. So now let's get to our 5th round pick, Jackson Slater, center/guard out of Sacramento State. Now, this is a very interesting pick because I like the traits that he has, and I like his versatility. This is a guy that can play center and guard. He's pretty nimble on his feet, y'all. For a big guy, man, this dude is quick on his feet. He moves well. He's really strong. He uses his hands well to disengage off blocks, but he did play at Sacramento State. So you really don't know how, I guess, good he really is. I mean, his tape looked really good, but, he did not face the best competition. So he's going to have to adjust to the NFL competition. He's definitely going to play against guys that were much bigger and stronger than he was, than he faced at a collegiate level. But I do like Jackson Slater, y'all. And you look at this Titans offensive line. I mean, obviously our starting 5 is set in stone, right? You got Dan Moore, Peter Skoronski, Lloyd Cushenberry, Kevin Zeitler, and J.C. Latham. But behind those guys, y'all, our depth was very shaky. And Jackson Slater, I'm telling y'all this. We know we brought in Kevin Zeitler, but Kevin Zeitler is 35 years old, and he's only on a 1-year deal. So I don't think he'll be on our team next year. Jackson Slater will be the starting right guard for the Tennessee Titans in 2026. I'm telling y'all that right now, man. You can take that to the bank. he will be our starting right guard in 2026. And I would not be surprised. Okay, I would not be surprised if he actually gets some games in for us this year, y'all, as a starter. I would not be shocked if he gets some games in for us as a starter this year. I know we have Kevin Zeitler, but what if Kevin Zeitler does not live up to expectations, y'all? Because Kevin Zeitler, he was great for the Lions last year. Okay, but Kevin Zeitler at times in his career, he's been kind of up and down. He's been kind of inconsistent at times. So what if Kevin Zeitler comes in, doesn't play well? Now we have Jackson Slater. He can step in, be a really good guard for us, y'all. So I like this pick, man. I really do. Now, in my mock draft, I didn't have us selecting the offensive lineman because I feel like we would have been able to get some good ones via the undrafted free agent market. But I have no problem with us selecting Jackson Slater, a guy that y'all really, if we didn't sign Kevin Zeitler, he could step in and become a starter day one. But because we have Kevin Zeitler, he will be on the bench. But I'm telling y'all, man, Jackson Slater, again, he'll be the starting for this team in 2026. So I love this pick, y'all. I gave this pick a grade of B+, man. And the only reason it's not A, y'all, is really because of the competition. Again, playing at Sacramento State at FCS school, not going against the best teams, not going against the best players. But I'm not, holding that against him because, hey, he's selected to go to Sacramento State. So you have to, you can only dominate the talent that you're going up against. And he did that. So that's what matters. At the end of the day, he dominated the players and the teams that he went up against. So you love to see that. But that's the only reason it's not an A, because he didn't go up against really elite competition, y'all. With our 6th round pick, we selected Marcus Harris, cornerback out of the University of California. And I'm kind of iffy on him, y'all. We definitely needed to take a cornerback, but there was a guy by the name of Robert Longerbeam who I wanted us to draft. Instead, we take Marcus Harris. Now, here's the good things about Marcus Harris, y'all. He has great ball production. He had 35 pass deflections during his 4-year career at Cal. He's a very physical player, a guy that's not afraid to make plays in a run game, and he's good in zone coverage. But I worry about his man coverage ability. And when you look at our defense, y'all, Denard Wilson loves to run man coverage. We don't run that much zone coverage. So I don't know if Marcus Harris is going to be the best fit for what we need. He's a solid player. And for some other teams, y'all, he would be a really good player for them. But for us, a team that loves to run man coverage, that loves to get up in wide receivers' face and jam them at the line of scrimmage, that's not really Marcus Harris's game, y'all. It's not his game, which kind of concerns me. But I think he will come in and become our cornerback 4. He will make some plays for us this season. But I will tell y'all this. I don't expect him to come in right away and get a lot of, because I've seen some people say, oh, yeah, he's going to come in and like be our starting slot cornerback. I wouldn't say that. We still have Roger McCreary. And I know Roger McCreary had a down season last year, but y'all, Roger McCreary is a better man coverage corner than Marcus Harris is. I mean, he is. So I just tell some people to slow down. Look, I like Marcus Harris, but is he the best fit for what we do? Absolutely not. So it's going to be interesting to see how we use him. Because, again, we're a man coverage team. He's a zone coverage corner. But I like his ball production. I like his toughness. I like his physicality. So that is a positive, right? Those are positives about him. But, y'all, the big negative, again, is his man coverage ability. So let's see how we're going to use him. It's going to be very interesting, y'all. And I hope this works out. I really do. But if it doesn't, I mean, he's going to get cut. Now, here's the thing. He's a 6th round pick, so it's not like we took a huge risk in drafting him. It's just I would have rather drafted Robert Longerbeam because, again, he's a really good man coverage corner, and that's what we do. But I have no problem with Marcus Harris for the most part because he does have some good traits about him. So my grade for this pick, y'all, I gave it a grade of B-. Like, again, I like the player, but I just don't like his fit on our team. Kind of like with Gunnar Helm. I like Gunnar Helm. I like him a lot. But I just don't know how he fits on our team right now. Marcus Harris, same thing. I like the player. Just don't know how he fits on our team. But we shall see, y'all. And then last but certainly not least, In the 6th round, the Tennessee Titans selected Khalil Mullins, running back out of Michigan. And let me tell y'all something, man. This is the type of running back this team needs. Now, obviously, we have Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, which is great. Okay, great. Round of applause for them. We have one of the better running back duos in the NFL. But, y'all, we needed a guy that was a thumper, that was a big back, that was a big bruising style running back. And we got that in Khalil Mullins. And here's one thing about him, y'all. This dude is a tough son of a gun, man. He went to the University of Michigan. And we know to play for the University of Michigan, you got to be extremely tough and you got to have a high football IQ. So Khalil Mullins, he plays the right way. Again, he's a thumper, y'all, a big bruising style running back, and he's going to be a good goal line / short yardage back for us, which is what we really needed. I know some Titans fans are probably upset at this pick, not because they don't like Khalil Mullins, but because they didn't think we needed to draft a running back. But I beg to differ, y'all, and that's why I had to select a running back in my mock draft. I had to select Ollie Gordon. He ended up going to the Miami Dolphins at pick 179. But, hey, we were able to get Khalil Mullins. Him and Ollie Gordon are basically the same style of running back, so I have no problem with us selecting Khalil Mullins. And now this is a guy, y'all, that's going to come in and make a big impact for us. I really do. And he's going to make an impact on special teams. So this is a great pick by Mike Bergonzi and the rest of the Titans management, man, to close out our draft, y'all, address something that was a low-key need for us. It wasn't a big need, but it was definitely a low-key, sneaky need for us, y'all, just getting a big bruising running back, because we saw last season, we really missed that. It's nice to have Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, two really fast, athletic guys, two change-of-pace style running backs. But now, y'all, we need to add a big bruising style running back, a guy that's a thumper, a guy that when it's 3rd down and 1 or when it's 4th and 1, we can hand him the ball and say, hey, go get us a yard. Khalil Mullins is going to be that type of guy that can give us that yard, y'all. So, yeah, really like this pick. And the grade is going to reflect that I like it. Gave this a grade of a B, man. This was just a solid pick. It wasn't a great pick. It wasn't a bad pick. Just a really good, solid pick, y'all. Great way for us to end this draft. Getting Khalil Mullins, adding him to this running back room with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears, y'all. So overall, I liked our draft. I would give it a grade of a B+. So I thought it was good. I was, getting Cam Ward, which was great. Again, would have rather had Travis Hunter, but still getting Cam Ward, which was great. Getting my man Alec Iomanor, which was great, y'all. And getting Khalil Mullins, which was great. But I think what this draft is going to come down to, y'all, is the development of Femi and Chim DK. It's those two guys, Femi and Chim DK. It's going to come down to, can we develop those guys? Because there were players, y'all, on the board that were better than them, and we bypassed them to select the guys we selected. So it comes down to Femi and Chim DK. We're going to have to turn Femi into a pass rusher, because right now he's more of a run stopper, which is good. But we don't need a run stopper, y'all. Again, we need somebody that can get after that quarterback consistently. And then with Chim DK, he's a deep threat right now, which is also solid. But we need a more well-rounded wide receiver. So, again, that's what it's going to come down to. But everybody else, I think, will become very productive players for us. So, overall, y'all, Mike Bergonzi, I think he did a good job, especially when you consider that this was his first draft as a GM. I know he had been an assistant GM for years with the Chiefs, but assistant GM is nothing like being an actual GM, y'all, because when you're assistant GM, you're not calling the shots. But when you are the GM, you are calling the shots. So, again, overall, though, this was a good draft for Mike Bergonzi, y'all. Really got us some players, I think, that can help us usher in this new era. As y'all can see, again, a new era begins, y'all. This is a new era of Titans football, man. We are hoping to become a Super Bowl caliber team in 2 or 3 years. Now, it's going to take us a long way to get there. And we got a lot of work to do. And I want to tell Titans fans that, y'all, we're still a ways away. I know a lot of people are excited that we got Cam Ward. But, y'all, it's going to take much more than him to lead this team to the promised land. Right? We got to keep building out this roster. We got to hope that our coaching staff can become better and get the best out of these players. And then we got to hope, y'all, that our management is going to make good decisions for our football team. And if those 3 things happen, this football team, y'all, is going to be right back to being one of the better teams in the NFL. I know the last 3 years we've been down, right? We've dealt with bad management, bad coaching, bad draft selections, poor performance by our players. We had players underperforming, right? Underwhelming us. But if this draft class, y'all, can come in, produce at a high level for us with the players that we already have on our roster, if the coaching staff can develop these guys, and if our management can do their thing and make sure that they're making good decisions for us, I like our future, y'all. I like where we're headed. This draft, again, it was good for us. I think it's a step in the right direction, excuse me. And now, y'all, it just comes down to development. That's what it comes down to. Can we develop these guys and get the best out of them? Because that's what we need. Draft picks are so important. That is how you construct your roster. The reason, y'all, that we had to spend nearly $300 million last year in free agency is because of the horrible draft decisions we made. You know, drafting Traylon Burks and Isaiah Wilson and Caleb Farley and Christian Fulton and Darrington Evans. That's the reason we had to do that. And the list goes on and on and on. That's the reason we had to spend so much money last year in free agency. It's because our roster was horrible. So we're hoping, y'all, that this is truly the beginning of a new era. That's what we're hoping with everything, right? You can already tell we're starting to do things differently. This year, the Titans selected 2 wide receivers. This is the first time we've done that in a very long time. I think we haven't selected 2 wide receivers in a draft since 2017. So you can start to see, okay, maybe change is coming. And we definitely hope y'all change is coming because we need to do things differently. And speaking of doing things differently, y'all, we signed Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver out of Miami. I posted it in the community tab on my page, so go look at it. But we signed Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver out of Miami. And if that name sounds familiar, y'all, it's because he played with Cam Ward, man. Xavier Restrepo was one of the best wide receivers in college football last year. So that's how you could tell the Tennessee Titans are doing things differently. Because when is the last time we didn't draft Xavier Restrepo? When's the last time, y'all, we had 3 rookie wide receivers on our team? I don't know if this has ever happened for us. So this is unprecedented times for the Tennessee Titans. But it's great, y'all. Get used to it. We're doing things differently now. And we needed to do this. This is not going to be the same old Tennessee Titans anymore. You can just tell. It feels a little bit different. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be a playoff team this year. Again, we still have a long way to go, man. A long way to go. But I like where we're headed. Now let's get to some of these comments. And I'll get on up out of here. I hope y'all have enjoyed this. Hopefully the Titans are a much better team come time the stadium is finished. I hope so. We have to be. We have to be ready to go. Okay, because this stadium is going to be a main attraction in Tennessee. So we have to have a really great football team. Not a good football team, y'all. We have to have a great football team going into the new Nissan Stadium. And hopefully we will. I'm very optimistic, y'all, about our future. This season, I think we'll be decent. I'm not expecting a lot from us. And we'll talk about this more later. You know, it's kind of early, I guess, to really be discussing the 2025 season, especially when you consider that the draft just now ended a few hours or about an hour ago, excuse me. But yeah, I'm optimistic about our future, y'all. But this season is gonna still kind of be rough, so just expect it. But I think we're headed in the right direction. That's the biggest thing that matters, y'all. When you make these draft picks, you want to feel good about your future. You don't want to, when you look at your draft and you're like, I don't think we drafted the right guys. I think our future could be kind of messed up. But no, I do feel good about where we're headed. Glad the Titans made better draft decisions this year. Yeah, I feel like we did a pretty solid job. Again, it comes down to Femi and Chim DK. Those are 2 guys. But everybody else, I think, is going to produce at a high level for us. So that is good to see, man. So there you have it. This was my Tennessee Titans 2025 NFL draft recap, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. I definitely enjoyed it, y'all. I cannot believe that the draft is over with. And now we're looking ahead to, rookie mini camp, and training camp. So, yeah, cannot wait to cover that because I will be here to give y'all my analysis on rookie mini camp. Dang, I cannot say that right now. Rookie mini camp and training camp. And yeah, the draft is over, y'all. That is it for my draft coverage. See a couple of comments. We're at the bottom, but the only way is up. Let's go. Yes, that's true. That's true. Thank you for your draft coverage. Tighten up. Yes, you're welcome. I hope y'all appreciate it, man. I had a lot of fun on yesterday and today. So again, there y'all have it. This, man, was my 2025 Tennessee Titans NFL draft recap. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm going to end it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Oh, I got more comments. Hold on. Hopefully the Tigers are a much better team. Hold on. So I can get back up. Hold on. I don't know if I already showed this, but I'll go back and show the comments, tighten up. Maybe the coach will help them get there. I'll just go back and show them. If I didn't, sorry. I was getting into it. Sometimes I cannot always get to the comments, but I just go back and show them one final time. All right, there y'all have it. So again, remember y'all, Labs Good. It's funny because I had to do my outro a second time, but remember y'all, Labs Good messages are what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an enemy, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.